Welcome to Sidebar, discussions with local, state, and national experts about protecting our most critical individual and civil rights. Co-hosts, Law Deans Jackie Gardina and Mitch Winnick.
Mitch, why don't you introduce yourself to what we hope is going to be a growing Sidebar audience?
Well, thank you, Jackie. I serve as the Dean of Monterey College of Law, and as such, that's part and parcel of my dedication to legal education, not only teaching in a law school, but also teaching lawyers and continuing legal education. And through this podcast, my hope is that this gives you and I an opportunity to become teachers to a broader community, to our friends, our family, community members, and perhaps even a national audience.
I think you and I share that. So I'm Jackie Gardina, and I am the Dean of the Colleges of Law with campuses in Santa Barbara and Ventura. And I have the exact same passion for educating people about our legal system and about the laws. I really believe that people need to know and understand the laws that affect their daily lives, the air we breathe, the food we eat, the water we drink. It's always been my goal in everything I do to try to educate people and excite them about the system that we have in place.
Jackie, both you and I use the term excitement and passion when we talk about the law and our engagement in the law. I suspect that comes from our life experience. Tell me a little about yours.
So I think it started very early. I come from a very large family, all of whom I assume will be listening to this. And if they're not, they'll hear from me. And so we spent a lot of time talking about what's fair and what's not. Spent a lot of time negotiating. And so I became very interested in equality and justice early in my life. And as a younger part of the family, I was also very interested in underdogs winning. So I got an underdog mentality early. But I think the other thing that really brought it home to me was when I came out as a lesbian, and I started to recognize and see the ways that the law marginalizes or excludes certain people within the United States. And it was important for me to have a better understanding of our system and how we can make changes that can influence that. And so I was able to be involved in the marriage equality movement in Vermont, as well as the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell. And it really shaped my desire to have people understand how they too can be involved in change.
As I grew up in Texas in a small town, during a segregated period of the United States history. The K-12 schools were segregated, the communities were segregated in the town I grew up in, Texas. And when I was in fifth grade, I had the experience of desegregation, which really formed a lot of my opinions about civil rights and civil justice and the need to protect and promote those things. I'm also old enough that I was actually eligible for the draft for the Vietnam War. So I had the opportunity to form ideas about the relationship between citizens and the government and war and the proper relationship between those things, which also gave me a different viewpoint of political advocacy and the opportunity for citizens to speak up about things like this. Attitudes that I took through school, through college, and into law school, and into my law professorship, and hopefully in my administration of training new lawyers. So I think we both share some of those ideas of passion and excitement of bringing these ideas to our audience.
I agree. And I think one of the things that we want to do is really focus on those fundamental rights that really serve as that bedrock. And I wonder if you could talk a little bit more about, what we're hoping to do in terms of guests and other people that we want to invite onto our show.
I think one of the things I hope will be unique about this program that'll make it different than other legal podcasts is, as law school deans, you and I are trained to bring legal issues to the forefront so that we can bring multiple sides. We're not here to be advocates of an opinion. We're here to bring the type of information that we hope our audience will use to better form their own opinions. We're not trying to get them to adopt our opinions or our viewpoint. What we'd like them to do is be interested, intrigued, engaged, and want to take the information they learn on our podcast and go beyond that, look more into the issue, do their own research, and form their own opinions.
I remember when I was working on the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and I would talk to people about that effort. And many of them were unaware that the law even existed or what the impact of that law was on the service members who were currently serving or were subject to discharge. And so it became obvious to me that people don't necessarily have a good grasp of all the ways that our legal structure can influence people's daily lives. And it was important to bring that to the forefront because once they know, they often, as you said, want to dig a little bit deeper.
Well, they can hear us as we move forward with our hosts and our guests on the Legal Talk Network, also on our website, which is sidebarmedia.org. And tell us on some of the social media platforms we're going to have, since you're the younger, more aware of these things.
We will be on just about every social media platform. We'll have a Twitter page, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, even a TikTok. So we are excited to see you there, and you'll be able to download our podcast in a variety of places where you normally find podcasts. So really excited to have you join us and listen to what it is that we are hoping to excite you about and bring the same passion that we have for the law to you.
For more information on Jackie, Mitch, and Sidebar, go to sidebarmedia.org and join us at the Sidebar. Welcome to Sidebar, discussions with local, state, and national experts about protecting